And welcome to the Escape with Nick and Adam and Nate. My name's Nick.
She's got me dizzy. She sees me through to the end. She's got me in her hands, and there's no use in pretending. Christine, 16. I'm Adam.
I have no follow up for that.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
We're just going to keep it going. So, all right. So we got some catching up to do, mainly on a lot of Star Wars stuff. But we're not going to focus mainly on Mando tonight, but it's going to be a little bit Star Wars heavy. Plus, I'm going to give my review of Renfield. And I know Adam's got some comic books he wants to talk about.
You saw Renfield?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Let's just change the course of the show.
He's been holding out on us.
I know.
So, I've got a toy, not a toy review, a toy unboxing I'm going to do later. But other than that, I know kind of skipped over intro, but Nate, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing okay. Just got back from a trip. We are now in Canada, which is kind of cool.
The Great White North.
Yes, it wasn't exactly white, but everyone was really friendly. And we got into 3 shops up there, and we are at 39 shops, which I really wish it was 40. I got a guy in Southern California who's interested, but this is another little benchmark, and we'll keep going. So
that's fantastic. It was funny. We had like a little, I'm not sure if it was texting or just messaging back and forth about like Midwest versus Canadian. Like, kind of like the Midwest is just like Southern Canada when it comes to like manners. It's like, I forget exactly the conversation we had, but it was just like, you know, when like you leave you hold the door open for people, like, you know, and you're just like, yeah, everyone's like said thank you and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's a big thing. Like, if you don't say thank you when someone holds the door open, you get a very Midwestern, stern, dirty look. And that's about as far as it goes. But yeah, it was just pretty funny. He's just like, yeah, people are nice up here. I was like, that's kind of like the Midwest, where it's like, yeah, it's just people are just generally nice. So
yeah, in California or Phoenix, people like try to slam the door on you as you're walking out.
they look back at you and they wait for you to get inside the door jam, and then they pull it. And they're
yes,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. It's because it's one of I was talking to my brother because he's over in Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh now, and I heard the story, the difference between like East Coast nice versus West Coast nice. And so people let's say you blew a tire on the side of the road. Someone from the West Coast be like, oh, that's terrible. That's awful. I feel for you, while doing absolutely nothing for you. But someone on the East Coast will sit there and cuss you out as they're changing their tire for you. You're like, you stupid, but you know, they're helping you.
Yes.
Like, that kind of describes like the Midwest perfectly, because they'd help you and just be nice to you. And so,
yep,
that was kind of funny because he's like, yeah, like Pittsburgh thinks they're kind of, you know, in Pennsylvania, they're sort of East Coast, but they're like, are you though? You know, it's like, come on, Pennsylvania. I like Pennsylvania. It's especially Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a good town. So
Steelers.
Steel
Gotham
town.
City.
Permanente Brothers, where you just throw everything on a sandwich and eat it, including the fries and the coleslaw.
I've never been to that. I'd like to go to Pittsburgh.
Steel wool, sure, no problem. Throw it on the sandwich.
Throw it in there. We ain't got time. We're busy.
Good fiber.
That's right. Right. Good fiber. You don't want to see it when it comes out, but it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. Do we want to start with Mando, or do we want to give our there's some other Star Wars news? We start with the Star Wars news, or do we want to get in Mando first?
Whatever you want to do, Nick. You are our captain.
Okay, so
you are the Jean-Luc Picard, because every time you go on the away team, you get beat up.
So let's get into this. We're a little bit late with this, but we're going to talk about it. So they had the big Star Wars Fest, or whatever they call it, and they announced some movies. It's interesting. They've been announced, but they have not been greenlit. So I'm not entirely sure what Disney's got going on. But they announced 3 Star Wars films. Basically, I know one is supposed to be 25,000 years before original trilogy stuff, and that's supposed to kind of be like the beginning of the Force and the Jedi, and encompassing that.
What do
I
they call
know.
it? A soft release, right? Where they test the waters.
Yeah,
But
I'm not sure. Honestly, it comes down. I don't think Disney knows what the hell to do right now. They're in such a bad spot because I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I heard about when they announced Kathleen Kennedy. She came out on the stage because everybody's like, "Yay, yay, Star Wars!" And then Kathleen Kennedy comes out and it's just like crickets, and it's just like she's like just walks over. So it's like that it the fans are being heard, and it's not good. Disney just honestly, I know it's not news. Star Wars, Disney doesn't know what to do with Star Wars. They never have. They've never done it well. Um, so it's just one of those that they have this big Goliath waiting, trying to make money. This big amazing machine that they don't know how to operate. This big money making machine, and they can't turn it on.
I mean, they're making money, but
Not nearly as
I
much as they need
don't
to.
know.
No, Disney is in a bad spot in several ways. Financially,
Here's the thing: is they suffer from having too many cooks in the kitchen, just like DC Warner Brothers did. Now we look at DC and what they got going on. They got two cooks in the kitchen. We'll see how it goes.
well, yeah,
maybe one is the sous chef.
yeah.
Right.
One sous chef. I don't know who does the pastries, but I can't wait for that.
Oh, that's
That's
me.
the-
They
oh.
just you didn't hear the announcement.
No, just
Hey,
missed that one.
I don't doubt that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to make good movies or whatever, or try to knock your socks off. But like with Star Wars, like another thing that you're not hearing is like who's filling the void for Kathleen Kennedy. Did we hear anything about that? I mean, is there any scuttlebutt, any talk about that?
Kathleen Kennedy's going nowhere. She's under contract till 25.
I thought she was gone.
Nope.
After Indiana Jones 3 comes out.
That was the rumor, but officially she's under contract till 25. There's been so much misinformation because there was information that, there's a civil war, there's a rift, there's a this. Kathleen Kennedy has and always been, since Disney has bought Star Wars, she's been the head honcho, handpicked, mind you, by George Lucas, the head honcho of Disney Star Wars. The buck has stopped with her the entire time. So.
Let's not put too much holiness on the name. Fucking George, what's his name? George Lucas. I mean, he did start all this bullshit with his bullshit prequels and his bullshit fucking Redux. That he fucking Greedo firing first. Let's not make an angel out of him. There was a Maverick out there who made 3 badass independent movies, and he kept the rights to it, and he looked great. And then he had children, and he got soft. Bottom line.
George Lucas might be the perfect case of creative control out of control. Or it's just
I don't mind that.
Well, before you had, Gary Kurtz and all his, his wife in the editing suite saving the movie. I think there was a documentary that came out last year where it's very underrated how much she saved that movie in the editing, And
right. I believe it too.
Yeah. If you see the original footage before,
I guess
it's not good. It's not the same Star Wars. So
wow. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we call it a Lucas wipe when you see it, but where do you only see Luke? But you only see him in
just the shape wipe, and everybody I just go, and it's one of those weird little things. It touches a little part of my brain. I go, yeah, that's the stuff right there. It's just a stupid shape wipe, and I'm like, that's literally basic. Like, was the Grass Valley switcher that we used to use at Specs?
Yeah. I mean, that's all it was. But
you could do it.
Movies don't do that unless they're homaging that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a big fat fucking no.
Right. There's very few iconic, just little simple things that you just go like, oh, that's Lucas right there. Or even like in Snatch where Guy Ritchie just did these really quick things, but like that's homage, that's Scorsese stuff. Just these quick, it's like 6 editing things, but it's all one transition. These very quick, and that's a transition. But
Yep. You know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, but I don't hate George Lucas, but it's like Patton Oswalt said, like, what would you do if you could go back in time and kill Hitler? No, I would beat George Lucas with a shovel. That's what he before he could ruin Star Wars.
I see our priorities have changed as a generation.
Exactly. So make no mistake, Nick, he birthed Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, if you want anybody who wants to sit there and say, "Oh, it's all Kathleen Kennedy's fault," hand-picked. George Lucas hand-picked. So.
Yeah.
So I know James Mangold is supposed to be helming that movie. Like I said, they're just like announced. They're not greenlit. They don't have names, but it is basically supposed to be like the beginning of the Jedi. I don't know if it's specifically the beginning of the Jedi Order or the Jedi harnessing, becoming one with the Force or what have you. What do you guys think of that one? That one peak anything?
Wait, that's what the movie's supposed to be? Oh, be like the beginning. I don't like that idea from the start. Okay. But I've been wrong before. I'm not going to just not see the movie or throw it out or not give it a chance. Here's my thing on that. Like, you really got to go all the way back to like how far back are we going? The Big Bang there,
50 million thousand years. That's how far. It's just one of those throw out a big number and be like, all right, good enough.
I mean, feasibly, I know that you're on a different side with Mandalorian. You and I, you like it, I don't, and it's whatever. But you got 3 seasons of Mandalorian. You could like stop for like 2 years and make a really good Mandalorian movie. I don't know. Why don't you just do something that works? I'm gonna advertise our old podcast here on the Facebooks.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but also that is the next movie that's supposed to be coming out. That one's supposed to be helmed by Dave Filoni. And that's kind of what that movie is supposed to be. It's supposed to kind of wrap up the Mandalorian stuff, but also feed into the sequel trilogy stuff. So everybody who had any hopes that the sequel trilogy stuff was going to be just lost and forgotten, not so much.
Well, it happened. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't, write things off of it that are okay. It's better to, count it in there. Just like Kiss Music from the Elder. Not everybody liked it, but it's part of the collection.
That's fair. And then the last one, the coup de grace, the Rey Skywalker sequel.
Oh, I'm okay with that. I want to see that. I like her.
No one wants to see that. So, and that one's helmed by. I apologize. I'm going to butcher this woman's name, unfortunately. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Her directing credits are 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, and I think it's a documentary, Saving Face, and also as known as a pretty big actress. So, James Mangold, as far as directing credits, cool. He's Logan. He's doing the new Indiana Jones movie. Dave Filoni.
Indiana Jones movie. Bullshit. I'm an evil chihuahua now. Fuck yeah.
The Mandalorian.
It's in the fertilizer. I got theories about chihuahuas. Sorry, Nick.
So he's doing,
you said Indiana Jones and I lost it.
Yeah. So Indiana Jones. Dave Filoni's doing the Mandalorian. Obviously, the Mandalorian is doing Ahsoka. So at least we know Dave Filoni has at least some cred with the Star Wars fans. It seems to be either love or hate. He built his bones obviously on the animation side. I think this will be his first live action directorial, but at least these people I've heard of. I've never heard of Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. I just like, okay, so here's a Star Wars movie. Like that used to mean something. I guess not.
Okay, but look at it this way. Look at a really bad decision. Taika Waititi is good with all of these people. He's not directing it. Thank God for that. I'm serious when I say that. I'm not making a joke or a fucking anecdote. We also look. I highly recommend seeing Jojo Rabbit. That movie's amazing. That movie will make you laugh, make you cry, and it's a very good movie. It's got a very serious lesson in it too. Parental guidance suggested. But
Oh yeah.
the fucking Thor movies that he made, fucking horrible. They're horrible. It's not his wheelhouse.
Well,
keep him away from shit like that. So that's something to be grateful for. That's all.
Well, that's the thing. Look, the last Spielberg movie, that tanked. Just because you're a good director doesn't mean the movie's going to be great.
Fablemans?
Right.
Which one?
Fablemans?
I know he did a West Side Story.
Oh, okay.
Like
No, he
year.
did Fablemans. That was his like biopic kind of thing.
Yeah,
just recently.
I'm not sure when that came out, but I just know like one of his last movies, was West Side Story, and he got a bunch of flack because during the Spanish parts he refused to put subtitles because it was basically go learn Spanish. It's like, no, I don't. It's like, but it once again, just because a good director's doing a movie doesn't make it good, and just because an unknown director is doing a movie doesn't mean it's going to be bad. But it should, like I said, getting a Star Wars movie that used to mean something. That used to like you had better have some credit. Like when J.J. Abrams started out, everybody's like, oh, J.J. I know J.J. Abrams. This is great. This is gonna be great. It was not great as it turns out, but
this was the best of the three.
We did 2 to 3. He had to come in and retcon half the freaking. Spent half the time, half the
Force Awakens
one
was pretty
retconning
good.
the second one. What's that?
Force Awakens was pretty good. It didn't retcon. I mean, it still happened, right?
Disaster.
Luke still tried to kill his nephew.
Yeah, Luke. Well, let's see here. Han Solo's a deadbeat dad. Fantastic. Han Solo's an old man on an island drinking green titty milk. And he tried to kill his nephew because
that's the part.
He was terrible, I guess. Apparently, I don't know. Did he make his bed?
I don't have to love what happened to Luke like after Jedi. Like, it doesn't have to go my way. I wish it would have, but it didn't. But that part right there, where he goes to kill Kylo Ren, or what's his name, Ben Solo, right?
Yeah.
Ben Solo. That's the minute that he reacts out of fear, and that's the minute he crosses over to the dark side. So there's your flub. That's a cotter pin right there. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, he should be Darth Luke now. He should be. I'm just saying, from a writing standpoint, like, that should be Darth Luke now. That's what that should be. Like, and he should be forever conflicted.
It's such a weak ass point, though. It's like the kid technically didn't do anything. He just saw that the Force. Oh, he was going to do something. It's like
he reacted out of fear.
This isn't Minority Report. You don't get to just work off the things that you see in the future.
Yeah, so like if Luke is this shitty like hippie Professor X style, like whatever that. Remember when Professor X was laying around the mansion and all that crap? If they got him like that, fine. I don't have to like it. But it's the part where he goes in and he goes to kill Ben Kenobi, or not Ben Kenobi, but Ben Solo. That just doesn't. That's too far left. That's
not in his character. Luke
Even
Skywalker is the most optimistic person in the galaxy. He tried to save Darth Vader at the end.
Agreed. However, let's say he does it. How I'm going to kind of paraphrase, but once you start down the dark path forever, will it dominate your destiny? That's what Yoda said, right? So this guy should be conflicted as a motherfucker, and he should be power hungry, and he should be, self-righteous and all this kind of stuff, because he tried to murder somebody over his fears. So that is a very big misstep to me. That's a very big misstep. That's all.
It was a stupid plot point. What it was.
A misstep, a huge one. Like, you fell through the fucking, it's like making another Indiana Jones movie. That's how I feel about it.
Except this one's got a dial of destiny. What the hell's a dial of destiny? It's like one of those egg timers.
No, you don't remember on the TV, like the channel you get to, that was like your destiny for the next half hour.
Skinamax?
No, even before then.
Is that when you were trying to find when the Canadian channels went to porn, like after midnight, and you're just trying to like, come on, just give me just a little bit.
You're like,
they're nice because they don't have anything to do up there.
Right?
They got a completely different way of thinking when it comes to sex up there. Trust me. I know which one is it? Quebec that's got the.
No, you are Canadian, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, that's awesome. That's like call out. Tell him he's not American. He shits all over the place. He gets all like he's like. There's a little bit of like fuck you in his look.
A little bit. Whereas that's part of the Michigan Canadian thing. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as Michigan Ohio, but it's like, hey, over there.
Back it up.
Back it up a little bit, buddy.
We have ways of making you say the letter O.
Yeah, I'll take your Tim Hortons and your Timbits, but
they own Burger King now too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you know, we were really surprised. We went and got Five Guys, and we're in this area, and it's all like Asian food. We went and got Five Guys, and do you guys have Popeye's chicken out there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Chicken from Popeyes.
It's so good to know it's a Popeye's chicken, and we're supposed to be going to eat all this great Chinese food, and it's like Popeyes, yes.
Little Mickey's, yeah. Popeyes is the shiznit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Popeyes is good though. I had Popeyes the night I went to go see the Avengers game.
I got a question for you, guys.
Okay.
Have you read your issue 3s yet?
I have.
And
I wanted to give. We have to coordinate it. I've been in recovery and all that stuff. So,
Adam punched one of his cats.
Yeah, I punched one of my cats. There is something I wanted to show though. So hold on one moment.
And he just walks away.
He's going to show us something.
Oh, he's back.
Mine's somewhere around here, but you'll get this too, Nick. It says, from the desk of Virginia for Nick. I think it's great. I kept it. I think it's wonderful. But this one was mine, signed by David. Okay. And so this is Night of the Chihuahuas number 3. And we were talking about something earlier, and I was going to make a Chihuahua joke. I got mad at like a Chihuahua would. Wanted to chew up people who make Indiana Jones movies. Anyways.
Wait, you know, Adam, it's going to be sad because I know you got that Indiana Jones tattoo a while back, and now that you're kind of disowning it, you can get it removed. It's just a little painful, and
you got the Shia LaBeouf.
I would never abandon Indiana Jones in his first 3 movies. I just let this man relax. You know what I mean? Let him relax. But on the inside cover, there is a special thanks that was given, and it's hard to see with this camera. It won't focus, but it does say, "We are here." Special thanks, Nick Mott and Adam Smith, and thank you so much, Nate, for letting us be a part of it. And on the back cover, of course, we are also included the Escape with Nick and Adam. So we appreciate you letting us be involved.
Oh, damn it.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys, for all your help. Yeah, my kids are giving me faces over here because I'm dabbing.
Oh yeah. All that you deserve the faces.
Yes. Thank you guys for supporting and encouraging, and we're I think I told you we finished issue 4. Issue 5 will start in next week, and then we have Free Comic Book Day coming up, Phoenix Fan Fusion, 2 other horror shows here in the Valley that David's going to cover, and we signed up for San Francisco, and then there's always this one called Motor City that I heard of. Trying to figure out how to make that happen.
I'm gonna have some updates for you this Saturday afternoon.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I work 6 to noon that day, and I'll have some updates for you.
All right, so let's get into Mandalorian season 3 finale. All right, what'd you guys think?
It was
I was
Well,
blown away, man. I loved it. I had fun.
Let's do 2 grades. Let's do season finale grade and then overall season 3 grade. So,
Okay, so what's the grade?
what do you want to get? Do you want letter? Do you want stars? Do you want lightsaber? How many lights?
Well, Jeremy
how many,
Johns always goes
how many
like
Mando helmets do you
awesome-tacular.
want to give it?
Oh, no helmets. Okay, I got it. Bez car blocks. Yeah, and 10 out of 10 is 10 being perfect, 1 being not very good, and I give it 9.2 Bez car blocks.
9.2, almost perfect
as a season.
As a season, okay.
What about you? What about you, Nick?
3, 4 overall. Yeah, some good, but more bad than good.
Nate, how much Bez car are you throwing down?
I did not watch it, so I'm going to throw it right down the middle of whatever you guys said.
Well played.
This whole time I thought you watched it.
Very political.
I think I am in season 2, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I don't know. Just the way things go, sometimes it's hard to keep up. So I actually felt like I watched something and I wanted to share with you guys, and I can't even remember what I watched. I know I watched Ratatouille recently, but
I've never seen that.
All right, Adam, finale. What are you giving the finale?
Okay, so I'm gonna give the finale an 8.1 Bez car blocks, and this is why it was too short. For a finale, they could have had at least another 15 minutes. But then again, they could have cut some shit that they really didn't need, so it could have made it better by making it shorter. And then I mean, we're gonna talk spoilers, right?
Well, I say let's do generalities and then we'll give out the spoilers.
Well, this kind of like is one of the reasons why it's as low as it is for a season finale for me. Like why it's not an 8.7. Okay, and it's a low plot point here, but what there's
spoiler. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Moff Gideon has these clones. And we see Moff Gideon's demise. I won't say how or where or whatever. And we see the demise of these clones. Of course, I see that they're not going to write this guy off the show. He just prints money for the show. So one of these clones is going to come back. He's going to get on their good side, and he's going to be part of the team. It's the old Joss Whedon move. So that's why it's down to like an 8.1 for a season finale. Now, if they don't do that, maybe we can revise this scoring. But yeah.
Well, that's one of my issues. So obviously, cloning is a part of Star Wars, and I don't like that they kind of lean on a little bit heavy into this, where it kind of does go, okay, well, there's clones. He's like, was he a clone? Do we know who's the original? And I'm just like, I hate when they do that. I'm just like,
so much work.
Yeah, I'm just like,
yeah.
So
this might be a good version of Moff Gideon if that becomes like a Jedi or something, or maybe, you know what I mean?
I don't know, but I agree with you. I think it probably needed like another 15 minutes because I was just like, even at the end, I'm like, so what the hell is everybody else doing? Like we know what Din Grogu and Din Djarin are doing. They're literally maxing and relaxing. And I'm just like, okay, what happened to Bo-Katan? What happened to everybody else?
Well, they all lived happily ever after. They showed them all at the ceremony.
I was like, at least give me a montage. I'm just like, okay.
They went
I was
to
like,
Popeyes in Canada.
Yeah, I was like, everybody went up to see Nate in Vancouver. It's fine. But it's just kind of one of those like, okay, so everybody's just being put on ice until the Dave Filoni movie. Cool, because. And it actually upset me because the way they ended it, because it's like, Din's like, hey man, I'll just go track down Imperial guys for you. And I'm like, that's what this whole season should have been. That's what this whole show should have been. Is bounty hunting.
No. Hold on. You're right. I like that it's going there, though. I like that it's going there. That's cool. They didn't have to jump into it now. Excuse me. I just drank some Dr. Pepper. Zero. But
Too late for caffeine.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's bedtime right after the show. But no, I mean, you're gonna get that now. Like,
Are we? They haven't announced a season 4.
well,
I'm
that's where
sure
they're
they're
at.
going to do it. Yeah.
I mean, they have to because Mandalorian's the only popular thing they got going. But like I said, they announced the 3 movies, but they haven't technically been greenlit. They've just announced the stars for it.
It's the soft.
But
soft open.
also, it seems like we're saying goodbye to Pedro Pascal because he's too popular and he doesn't wear the helmet. So, which gets back to another point where clearly the first 2 seasons, the star of the show was Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, but yeah,
But now who's the star now?
they're
Not
both the
Nate.
star. Not
Who?
Nate. It's Mando and Grogu.
No, it's not. He resigned himself to be following Bo-Katan, so he actually regressed back into the pack of the Mandalorians instead of being more. Even they did it throughout the whole season. They regressed the character, and
I don't know if I agree with you about regressing the character.
What were highlights of what he did this season?
Oh gosh, he did all that dog fighting in a couple episodes, but they were bringing 2 people together. They were trying to tell a story where Mandalorians like have their own planet and stuff, and he saw that as like purpose, and I feel like he grew, from that, and he saw the leader that Bo-Katan could be. He doesn't want to be a leader of the fucking Mandalorians. He wants to go out and raise his kid. He likes that kid. He loves him.
I
know you don't.
No, I think it's weak as hell. It's like, oh, now I got a kid. Don't worry, I'm going to take him into a ferocious battle at the end of the season, though, like a good dad would. Anyway,
Piccolo.
He can take him to
Piccolo.
Piccolo. Okay, Grogu is not Gohan, sir. Don't he? At least Gohan could talk. At least Gohan could talk.
Gohan was the most annoying character on that show.
So is Grogu.
No, he's not.
Grogu, he can't. No. Yes. Yeah, no, yes.
It's cute and hilarious.
What?
It's cute and hilarious. It adds levity and it gives you a warm feeling.
In my poop that I shit because I didn't like it. I was stupid. Let's put him in a robot. Instead of developing the character, let's just keep him a child and literally make him completely useless. Fantastic. So, and that's not
at the end, the very end battle. He was pushing people out of the way. He was helping Din Djarin fight these elite fighters. That there was no fucking way he was gonna beat them anyway. These were fucking badasses. Okay. You think Luke Skywalker is going to lose in a fight to fucking Din Djarin, dude? These were Imperial Reds, dude. These were Imperial Red. These were Red Imperials, dude. They were going to kill that mofo. But Grogu was there to be like, I can push people.
I can push people.
It worked.
And flip around on these lights because, okay.
And then what happens? What do you see? Din Djarin, he's like, stabs dude in the neck between his Beskar armor. He was like, yeah, you got Beskar armor on, but I don't give a F-U-C-K. And he's just putting them down. Dude, you missed it.
That was trash. No, you want to make that interesting instead of Din Djarin getting sucked into a room because, of course, Grogu got sucked into the room with the 3 patrol, whatever they are. The red guys.
Imperial Red. Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, the Marlboro Red men.
Flashbacks.
I say, if you want to make something actually interesting, don't even show it, but just have the doors open. Din Djarin didn't get sucked in there, and just have Grogu in there, and all those guys crushed. That'd been better than seeing the stupid guy who looked like, someone was up there with their action figure, like, No,
I strongly disagree, Nick. I think the no's and the yeses were great. I think that was well played humor, and yeah.
I'll disagree. But anyway, overall for the season, from watching Rebels and watching, the Clone Wars, Bo-Katan, that was not Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan was out before Bo-Katan and trying to bring back, the royalty, the high house of Bo-Katan, in the Mandalorian. It just didn't. It seemed out of character for me. The whole season just didn't. The more they delved into the Mandalore culture, the dumber it seemed.
Yes, you've said that in the previous episodes, but I liked that. What is it, a Minotaur or whatever he's called? They showed him at the bottom of the water at the last episode. I liked that. I thought that was great. Give me a giant fucking monster.
They overplayed the monster. Here's a giant bird. Here's a giant fish thing. Here's another thing that destroys a boat. Be like, how many bleeping giant creatures just pop up out of nowhere? But no, back to the point of the deeper they went into the Mandalorian stuff, because Adam, when we were young, when the Mandalorians were mysterious, it was just, hey, yeah, they always got their helmet on, but not all the time. It was more so that their enemies didn't know who they were, not so they didn't know who they were. And it makes it hard to care about characters if you don't see their face. That's how humans work. You have to see. That's why you need to see faces and eyes so that people care about them.
Well, I understand that. I have problems with that, like with the show The Flash. As that show progressed more and more, you always seen Barry in the suit but cowl down. I hated that. I hate when any show does that. Yeah, I understand the point you're making with, faces have to be seen and stuff. But, not that I'm not. I've already defended The Mandalorian as far as like how I feel about it. But we do live in a time where Wolverine Origins came out, and I don't mean the movie. I mean the actual comic book that came out, which wasn't half bad, But did we really want to know that? Did we really want to know what was in the sausage? So I don't know. It comes down to that. For me,
people are upset that they found out that Darth Vader was a snot-nosed little kid. I mean, very, very rarely when you go, hey, this mysterious character, and they have a mysterious background, let's go, figure out what it is. It very rarely works.
Joker.
Right.
Joker.
I could talk forever.
Don't worry, it's Jack Nicklaus. Isn't it? Right?
Jack Nicklaus. Nicholson?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Wasn't he the Joker?
Jack Napier.
Yeah.
Jack Napier, you mean?
That's a sad thing.
Yeah,
people still think too. Like that's Jack Napier's still the freaking Joker, and I'm like, I'll read a comic. But anyway.
Yeah. No, there is something that gets lost in things when you unveil the mystery. I'll agree with you on that one.
No, but it's like when I was younger, they're like, yeah, they keep the helmets on, so that their enemies don't know who they are. But like when they're just Mandalorian to Mandalorian, yeah, we're probably taking the helmet off because you have to care about the people, right? You have to still.
Haven't you ever seen a Mandalorian kiss Mandalorian?
Yeah, it looks like a bonk, bonk, bonk. I don't even know how they make the babies, but that's got to be a racket unto itself. Take two pieces of
so that's what
slap them together.
That's what they clone. They just clone this.
They just find kids, be like, "Yeah, this kid's mine now." Mandalorian.
They go down to Star Wars adoption unit C-64.
That was always like the dumbest thing. Like when people talk about like sexuality and like Star Wars, I was like, the most common way of procreation in Star Wars is cloning. So, I mean, it doesn't matter about I think the deeper we went to the Mandalorian lore, it was kind of dumb.
Do you think they just didn't do a good job of like setting it up, or
I think they just chose to focus on the wrong parts, like the helmet on the whole time. Like I said, it makes sense, like so that your enemies don't know who you are. and so that people don't know if you're Mandalorian. But like,
Yeah, but you know, they,
but
you know,
if
they
you
could
want to
argue.
infiltrate into an organization, you could take your helmet off so you could infiltrate. They still wouldn't know who you are, or just
No,
as a
I have no
community.
idea.
Yeah, it's just
Who's the new guy?
yeah, it would it's you. I just imagine that it would be used as a tool to keep so that people don't know who Mandalorians are, who don't know if you're part of the tribe or not. There's I thought that was kind of cool, not just like no, we just keep our helmets on all the time. What about when we're eating? We scatter like cockroaches.
This is
That's
the
what
way.
we do. Yeah,
But that's the way.
that's and
Is this the way?
the fact that
How can you get
this is the way gets used 17 times an episode as just like, hey, stepped on a bug. This is the way. Hey, I shit my pants. This is the way, guys. This is it. I was just like,
It's not that bad.
It is that bad, Adam.
It is not
at
that
the end of the episode when they do the whole stupid ceremony where Din actually has to say, I'm adopting, Grogu, or it's like, was it not implied that he adopted Grogu at this point? And there's like, oh, this is the way. And I was like, as soon as they said, I'm like, they're gonna say it. They're gonna freaking say it.
Well, yeah, it's like saying amen, dude.
It is, but it's a longer, stupider way.
You just like amen. That's all.
Amen is simpler. Amen is, it's a fair point, but amen is just like, yeah, it's like saying, yes, I agree.
Amen is simpler.
It is simpler.
Hold on,
it is simpler.
What does it mean?
Let's give Adam
amen means I agree.
No.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it's Hebrew for so be it.
So be
dare
it.
you to look it up
or
right now.
or dumbed down American version. Yeah, I agree with you.
I heard Greek, and the Greek meaning is I agree.
I was trying to get Adam to go on that route.
What's that?
So I was going to try to put you on the spot and see what it is. I mean, I know some like very obscure things, and that's one of them that I'm proud of. Like, I know what amen means.
I know what it means in Hebrew. Do you know what Jehovah Jireh means?
All right, so Nick is not a fan.
Mandalorian.
So
I'm sorry.
It's safe to say that Nick is not a fan of Mandalorian. Nick has spoken, and this is spoken,
and this is the way that Nick hates the show, because they actually took something that was really cool, like when they're doing the training scene where, dude,
and kept it cool, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I was like, no, they didn't. They looked like a bunch of cosplayers LARPing on a beach instead of being like Navy SEALs doing badass stuff. And that was the thing, like, they did not make the Mandalorians seem badass very minimally. Like, Mandalorians were a beard. Like, one of the few people where the Jedi said, oh shit, it's a Mandalorian. Like, I might actually have to fight and actually challenge myself here. It's one of the few people that could go toe to toe with a Jedi and didn't have to like completely, soil themselves. I don't think they did the Mandalorians any favors in this season.
So Nick is pretty much looking for Michael Biehn and Charlie Sheen, because Navy SEALs. That's their movie, Navy SEALs.
I want Michael Biehn from Navy SEALs, but also Michael Biehn from Terminator, and also Michael Biehn from The Rock. So if I could get all those guys,
they're clones.
That's the Mandalorian. That's a Mandalorian for you, Michael Biehn, and also a little Tombstone. I'm just saying, throw it. That's what a Mandalorian is.
I have a feeling that these shows are going to go on, and you're going to continue to watch, Nick, and you're going to turn into like this grumpy old curmudgeon who knows the entire story and hates it all.
That's what kills me. It's like, how did you watch the whole thing?
That's most of my life, Nate.
How did you watch the whole thing?
Like I said, it wasn't all bad, but it's just the stuff where they really could have made it interesting and cool. They just chose not to. Like when they were when they did the training scene on the beach, if they'd have had Grogu completely just use the Force and rip that kid, like just really hurt the kid, be like, oh, there's just a slight chance that Grogu might have a conflict of, good versus evil in him, like all Jedis and all Sith have to deal with. That'd have been actually interesting. And getting back to the finale, where if he got trapped in that room alone and the doors open, and all the Marble Red Man are all just crushed and crumpled, and he's just standing there like, oh yeah, just killed all these guys, didn't even try. That'd have been more interesting than Din Djarin going like trying to shiv a guy in the neck.
I think you'd have been left with like a red-eyed child looking all demony. I think that would have been a little too hardcore.
That'd be more interesting.
I gotta watch now.
Yeah,
I gotta get in here and see what you guys are talking about.
Not heroic.
Yeah.
We don't know it. Who cares? Just make the shit interesting.
I think that goes. We talked about it before, though. It's like they're trying to appeal to too many people with these things, like make it like watered down so like everybody can watch it. But
I mean, he was shivving people. I didn't, that was pretty watered up to me.
Well, that's the thing. They try. That was the thing Star Wars has always done. They've always appealed. They always did the perfect balancing act between appealing to kids, but also keeping adults, involved. Where, hey, yeah, we're fighting, and it's good versus evil, but good guy's gonna lose in hand. Somebody's gonna get something chopped off. And I think, like I said, they watered it down too much. Where, look, I'll give you this. Bo-Katan wielding the Darksaber, which, if they just would have used the Darksaber, I don't know what the budget was for that, but if they just increased the budget by like $5 and actually used that thing a few more times, that was one of the biggest points at the end of season 2 was the Darksaber, and you saw it for like 7 whole minutes.
I would have liked to seen Bo-Katan just kick his fucking ass with it, and that'd have been it. That's how I would have liked to see that go down. And I would, you mentioned somebody, there's a critique I have with the fight. Like we're gonna have to eternally disagree on the whole Grogu Din Djarin thing at the end. I really like that, but I have
my opinion. That's fine.
Yeah, but I will say this: the Bo-Katan, instead of how Gideon actually did find his demise, he gets a demise, but how he gets his demise, that's not what I would have wrote.
No.
Talking about people losing arms or something, she'd have cut his fucking head off.
Well, that's
exactly what I would have wrote.
That's how it should have been, but no. Sorry, big spoiler. At the end of the show, the Darksaber gets destroyed.
Yeah, that I didn't like.
One of the biggest things in Mandalore culture that people were literally fighting for the entire season. That's what, because, especially Moff Gideon, he especially knew that thing held, that was a mythic weapon in Mandalore culture, and they just, it's gone. We just crushed it. We destroyed it. Darksaber's gone, guys. It's like,
and that seems to be a trope too, in a lot of things. All right, so
unless they cloned it, unless they cloned the Darksaber.
No, right? Well, that was the big thing. Like, there was only one.
They should come out with a lightsaber.
There's 100 different lightsabers. There's one Darksaber, and they just threw it. Now we're done. Threw it away. One of the biggest things in Mandalore culture. It's gone. Bye. Thanks. It's like, and
all right. So what else we got, homie?
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just and one of the biggest things too. I was like, I know, like, the lightsaber is supposed to be. I think especially when it was originally introduced in Star Wars, it was a little OP, a little overpowered. But they've diminished the power of like the lightsaber. It's like between the Kenobi show and this show, it's like it just doesn't seem as much as a ferocious weapon as it should be. And it was just like, oh no, now. These guys can block lightsabers, and then these guys can block lightsabers. I'm like, it's not how it's supposed to be. Like in one episode of Kenobi, they literally had the lightsaber bounce off a stormtrooper, and I'm like,
that's kind of wrong. I agree with that.
But and it's just too many inconsistencies with the the Mandalorian, the Star. Stormtrooper Mandalorian guys. There was just too much inconsistency versus what weapons were effective against them on other ones weren't.
We should all say hi to Josh. Josh is watching.
Hi, Josh.
What's up,
Josh,
Josh?
come
Thanks
on.
for watching, man.
Do you watch Mando? Josh, what'd you think of Mando?
I don't know. Is he on there? Does our chat?
I say, if you can chat, you can chat. But so yeah, we're talking about that, Josh. So yeah, it's just overall, I just now as far as for season finale grade, I'll give it a 5. It was better. The action scenes were really good. They actually had, in all the Mandalorian fighting scenes, it was the swarm of Mandalorians versus the I don't know what we're calling them, the stormtrooper Mando guys. It was good. It was entertaining. I was actually like, oh, that's pretty neat. And then Bo-Katan using the Darksaber. Cool. Finally got to see someone using the Darksaber. I think my biggest objection, though, Adam, with the season is and not saying I know what's right, but it's just, you spend all these years thinking, oh man, like, how is this going to be, how is this going to go? And you see it and you're like, that's not how I imagined it, darn it. It's just like, there's just so many different ways where I'm like, because you had Mando originally like, hey, not sure how to, wield the Darksaber. Gee, is there some Jedi master out there who could show Din Djarin how to use the Darksaber? Oh, wait, Luke Skywalker.
Well, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer what you said like a monk, bro. You said you waited all your life for this to come out and it's not that good, like that kind of thing. Batman's one of my favorite characters. I want you to picture every movie ever made of Batman, your favorite one, the 89 one, maybe the one you hate the most. Maybe you love The Dark Knight. Maybe you love that new one. I'm used to being let down. I've never seen him I've never seen Batman on the big screen. No. Not the real Batman.
No, and you're not the only one. I've heard several people are like, yeah, I'm still waiting for Batman to actually make it to the big screen.
Yeah, that's not him.
You didn't like Chris Nolan?
Oh, I loved it. I got it tattooed on my skin. I love the Chris Nolan. No, that's like they are amazing.
Not saying they're bad, but just the comic book adaptation to the screen has never happened.
Oh, okay.
The closest would be Batman: Mask of the Phantasm for a movie. Right. That would be the closest. But as far as all the Batman movies that have ever been made, you still haven't seen the true. You haven't seen Batman in the movies. You've seen Superman. Yeah. If you've seen Christopher Reeve, you've seen Superman. Yeah, you've never seen Batman.
Dick Donner's Superman is.
If you can look at the '66 Batman show and pull out all the comedy and
all the camp,
and all that stuff, and just look at it from a story structure and that's the closest. But other than that, anyways, that's it. So I'm a Batman fan, bro. I'm used to getting let down like that. So maybe that's why I love it so much. Maybe that's why I love Mandalorian so much. But
I say, and I'm on the opposite end of Star Wars has been my thing since I was a kid, and just seeing it being in my eyes, ripped apart. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. So, all right. Anyway, so some news out of Marvel. MCU looks like Jonathan Majors is he officially out, or is it just he's pretty much
dropped by his own management?
Yeah, I know he got dropped by his own management team, who was supposed to represent him, which is pretty much the first stage in bye-bye. You're no longer gonna be welcome. So
I guess it was domestic violence or something, huh?
Yes. Yeah. So that's them from I think almost a month ago now, and allegations from his girlfriend. Police were called. So anytime police are called to a domestic situation, someone's going to jail, and it's usually going to be usually the guy, but also there looked like there was some bruising or something that gave the indication that the woman was the victim. So he got hauled off to jail, but then his lawyer, for some odd reason, decided to release these messages from his girlfriend, and they did not help at all. It was very much of the, hey, it totally wasn't your fault. I shouldn't have done that. It's like, guys, that is not good optics. That looks really bad when the girl saying, "I shouldn't have done the thing because I know that makes you mad," and it just looks very much. It looks bad. So, and then there was an article release, releasing all the messages, and then just the article is like Jonathan Major's like, "Hey guys who are supposed to be helping me, just stop. Just stop helping me at this point because nobody's helping." It kind of reminded me of that scene from Ace Ventura 2 where the prince is trying to talk to the tribal people for him, and I forget exactly what the name they use from White Devil. He's like, "Did you just call me White Devil?" He's like, "This is how they know you." He's like, "Leave that out. Leave that part out." It's just like, don't say that. You are not helping. I feel that's kind of how Jonathan Majors is at this point. It's like, no, but everybody who's helping me, please just stop. You are not helping the situation at all. But it looks like in today's day and age, that's pretty much enough to get you kicked off any project, even if you are supposed to be the big bad moving forward in the MCU.
Are you starting to feel a little responsible for any of this, Nick?
For what?
The situation with Jonathan. I mean, domestic violence and everything is not a joke. And I am kind of putting some pressure on Nick over here. But, I mean, you owe it to the kids to the kid Nate was, too. Think about Phoenix Jones, man. So Nick knows jujitsu.
Okay.
And he hasn't suited up and gone out and fought crime.
So one of these times,
you could have helped her.
I'm gonna get my jujitsu instructor on here and let you know how much jujitsu I know. And first of all, do you know what jujitsu is? Because it's not gonna help that much.
It's Hebrew.
It's Hebrew for agree.
I agree. So be it.
No, it's I actually started looking into possibly going myself. I'm in no good shape, but somebody suggested that starting off slow, we might actually get you in some good shape.
Oh, it is becoming very popular, so it's probably not difficult to find a school or an academy, but just make sure, see how they kind of advance their students.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're going to start as white belt. Well, first of all, you get usually a week or 10 days of free training, and that'll kind of give you I can do this, or this is not for me. But yeah,
breaking the leg.
no, they're gonna keep you safe, but it'll be they're gonna give you a taste of it. It's no joke, and it is a great workout. But the biggest thing, how old are you?
47.
47. So just be like, hey, 47, you 20-year-olds, you stay over there.
Yeah.
He's being too modest. All the women who watch this, when you see Nick Mott on the street, you get close to him because he'll protect you.
They call him Phoenix Jones.
I would say, or just get behind me because then they won't see you. Because
Phoenix Jones was a guy who really did it. He dressed up and he had a traumatic experience. I watched this whole thing, and he went out and spent 10 grand. He looked just like Kick-Ass, only he looked like Nightwing and he was more built.
Yeah.
And he was out there doing it, man. He inspired other people to do it. And then he actually got arrested for something he got arrested because the crowd he was trying to help turned on him. So he pepper sprayed him, and then he got arrested.
Hold on.
And then when he unmasked, we found out he was. Yeah, this is him, dude.
I have to look it up.
I looked it up for you.
Oh, very nice.
That's
see,
Jones.
You got to show him with the mask on, though. He's a professional MMA fighter.
All, the hairdo alone. Look at that hairdo.
That's a fucking bulletproof suit, stab proof in a way. You got to see him with the freaking mask on, man.
All right, so when
he took
no offense, I hope they don't mind us giving out his real name. His real name is Ben.
No, he did it. He unmasked after going to court. He came out and he goes, "All right, everybody," in front of the press, and he took his mask off, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Because the judge thought the deal was so ridiculous, she just threw it out, and he didn't even go to jail or anything. So as he's walking out, he pulled his mask off and he unmasked.
Wow!
And then everybody found out that he was an MMA fighter. He took to the streets. started cleaning them up.
Okay.
I'd say Kick-Ass is an amazing comic and
I didn't see the
movie, and my kids are getting mad at me for using the ASS word.
Mm.
All right. Is that it?
There he is, man.
Wow, that's like legit.
That's pretty
Yes.
legit. But also,
Yes.
didn't you say he got in trouble because he was just ended up beating up drunks outside the bar?
Well, it started to turn into that at the end. He got really ego driven, and he started liking the fame. And you got to remember too, he had already exposed his secret identity, so people started saying, "Look at this MMA fighter." So if he never would have exposed his secret identity, maybe they never would have looked at him that way. But he held the police force accountable because this guy at a bar punched a bartender, and then he stopped the guy from getting away. But then when the police showed up, they just let the guy go, and he was like, they're supposed to enforce the law, and they don't. It's crazy.
Guys, I'm a genius. This is the new Kang. Why isn't this happening already? This is greenlit.
Right. No shit. Yep, that's him. Oh, and then somebody did die. Somebody he failed to save did die, and they wrote it into his comic, and they thought that was tacky.
Right.
So
this was like,
there was like
8 years ago.
Yeah, this was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and they thought that he was capitalizing on the person's death. So it did get out of hand.
I would say so. So pretty. I do now that I remember. I do remember that, and it's like, what a crazy guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he tried to actually do the superhero thing, and then you're like, oh, this is what happens when people try and become superheroes, like stupid shit. Or like, oh, yeah, a little bit of the ego goes to their heads because it turns out they're just a little bit off to begin with.
Well, that's the cool thing about. This is why I say one of the reasons, not the only reason. That's the cool thing about Batman is he's very aware of that. He's aware that if you find out that Batman is Bruce Wayne, then that's it. It loses all its fucking merit. Everything goes out the door.
Right.
And I think they explored that really well in Arkham Knight when they exposed his identity, and then he, supposedly faked his death.
Was Arkham Knight like a hardcover?
It was a game. It was one of the games.
I just remembered I have a sealed Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight. Anyways.
There's probably.
I said, did they do a comic adaptation to those?
Yeah, they did. That was a good story. It was a pretty good story. The whole thing was a good story. Different not Elseworld, but its own continuity. So
yeah. I'm gonna have to get going, guys.
Man, thanks for coming on the show, Nate. It's always good to see your face, man.
Yeah, so next episode we're gonna be reviewing Night Chihuahuas issue 3.
Ooh. Maybe I don't know if we can.
But we will not be doing spoilers. We'll keep it spoiler free for the.
And maybe I could like do kind of a more official update or whatever.
Yeah, that would be great.
So cool.
Alrighty, sir. We'll see you next
guys.
time.
All right,
man. Have a good night, sir.
You too.
And I kicked him off.
Always love having him on the show.
Plus, it's just good to talk. He's good nerd people. he's good people and he's good nerd people.
Yeah.
I always like talking to Nate. So, all right, Adam. So what do you want to talk about your comics that you've been reading, or do we want to get into my Renfield?
Why don't you go ahead and talk? I picked up some comics. I picked up a new Vampirella line because that one that I told you kind of fell flat. I'm finished reading it, obviously, but I figured I'd try something else. I guess I'll do what you do. I'll show them off real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Stand by.
All right. So while Adam's quick preview. You see that? Again. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. And plus, I hear him moving in the background. So. We'll talk quick movie news. So let's talk about the box office real quick.
You're going to the box office.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the box office real quick. So I think everybody knows what is top at the box office right now because it's breaking records. But Super Mario Brothers is absolutely destroying everything and is well on pace to make over $1 billion. Um, yeah, brought in 92 million last week. The Pope's Exorcist, with Russell Crowe came in second with 9 million. John Wick Chapter 4 came in with 8 million, and Renfield came in fourth with just over 8 million, followed up by Air with just under 8 million at 7.8, and Dungeons and Dragons unfortunately kind of fell off the face of the earth there. Uh, that was see, I like Dungeons and Dragons, but man, they just they didn't do that movie any favors by putting it 2 weeks before or a week before Super Mario Brothers was coming out because I think anybody who kind of saw the writing on the wall that was going to be a monster. So, but anyway,
Yeah,
what you got?
I saw the preview for Super Mario Brothers and wanted to see it right away. I mean, I still want to see it. So you get to that point in your life, or maybe you're collecting or whatever. It's just like you want to try something a little different, or maybe you want to try something you wanted to try for a long time, and that's where we are with Vampirella. So I read that Vampirella issue 1, year 1, and it was literally like went back to her being a teenager. And I was like, okay, and I haven't picked it back up since. But they do have this new other story out. It's called Vampirella Mind Warp, and it looks kind of psychedelic or something. So I'm not sure when this takes place, but I did pick up the first 4 issues. They all have different covers. So here's number 1. Okay. Here we got 2. I haven't read any of these yet. This sort of reminds me of some of that the 90s J. Scott Campbell type art right here, and a little bit of this too. So this is number 3, and it looks like, okay, there's 5 of them. So we'll see what it's like. Hopefully, the only thing that turned me off, I mean, the number 1 of the year 1, the only thing really turned me off about it was like how far back they went. Like, again, I don't need to see Anakin Skywalker as a little boy. Don't mind the Star Wars reference here, but like, I was like, that's kind of too far back. So there's number 5.
I say, do we care? It's kind of one. Did we need to see that?
Yeah, and again, being such a Batman fan too, when you use words like year 1, there's kind of a map. There's kind of a map out there for year 1. Frank Miller's year 1 is pretty fucking epic. So I didn't quite get a year 1 feel for that. It was kind of like a year, I don't know. And then this is the Tila cover. This is the Tila cover to Masterverse number 3. I read the first 2 issues, and I really did enjoy them. It is Zodak, who is supposedly the last council member, if you're familiar with Zodak, and the sorceress are having a conversation, and Zodak, it has doubts about Prince Adam wielding the power sword, so they look at different versions of him throughout the multiverse, and they just kind of show you different versions of He-Man in this, and I think it's meant to complement the toy line, so keep it coming, please. Yeah.
I'm just trying to pull up. I stopped at the comic shop today. Didn't get a chance to read anything yet, but man, I've been really heavy in leaning into the Mark Millar stuff. It's just everything I've read so far by all the new stuff. Mark Millar has been pretty solid. Nightclub, Nemesis Reloaded. I just picked up. Was it Ambassador? Was the new one? I got issue 2. I didn't get a chance to get issue 1, but yeah. So the Mark Millar stuff's it's all been just fun, just comic books, man. So it's just it's hard to find stuff where it's just like consistently good. Where you find a couple issues here and there, like, yeah, that's good, not as good, that's good, then not as good. That one's not as good. That one's still not great. it's just hard to find like just good. I don't need great constantly. I just need good.
You need something you're
I,
interested in.
I just need to. Yeah, because certain things, like I think it was, I was reading I kind of jumped in with Batman and jumped in with the Chip Zdarsky run where, everybody's like, cool, and then I think it got to issue like 130. Everybody's like, what the hell? Like, and I was like, oh, okay. People didn't like that. Didn't like Batman coming in from the moon, from the Justice League thing from outer space. Didn't buy that.
It gets rough. It gets rough.
It gets a little rough, and then just like, do we just not too high, not too low, just the happy place, the happy zone where everybody's like, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, but we're just gonna go with it.
I keep starting and stopping the Grant Morrison run. I just can't fall in love with it like everybody else does.
Well, and I find that happening all the time because, and God bless it, if you've got a favorite comic book run you want to recommend, please do. Drop into the comments, shoot us a message. We'll give it an honest to God shot. But just because you love it doesn't mean everybody loves it. It's very much in the same way where I'm like, wow, this is really good. And so many people are like, this shit. I'm just like, am I wrong? Or because it gets the Mandalorian stuff. Be like, Adam liked it, I didn't. Doesn't mean we're both right. We're both wrong. It doesn't matter because we both, if you like it, you like what you like. It's no problem.
Right.
But when especially when it comes to comic books, man, comic books are so subjective. Where, and that's where I know everybody gets upset with this term, toxic fans, but I think everybody knows what they're talking about when they use that term. I think it's obviously overused nowadays, but I mean, there's always the person where, hey, I like this, and everybody's like, you're a moron because you like that. Be like, no, I just like it. It's like, doesn't make you bad, doesn't make you a terrible, doesn't make you a stupid, terrible person. It just means you happen to like this and it brings you joy. There's always going to be someone who's going to give you shit over something. And, it's just how life goes. Adam was giving me shit earlier today. We've been friends for 20 years. We still give each other shit and get each other's nerves. That's just how it goes.
Yes. But only because Nick is mostly an irritable man.
I am a terrible person.
I said irritable. I did not say terrible.
I tell everybody this when I meet them. I'm terrible.
He's not terrible. He's irritable. There's a big difference. A terrible person, they do terrible things. He just thinks about doing terrible things. He doesn't act on them.
Yes. I have standards.
Self-control. We all have self-control. Self-control is something that's got to come with you. Taylor Tomlinson, man. Yeah, what we're talking about kind of falls in line with that. She's got a joke. She's like, remember when you're young, you give yourself pep talks because you still thought like there were things out for you, like the government was for you, and like and you'd look in the mirror and you'd be like, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna kill it. That's right, you're gonna rock. She's like, now you look into the mirror and you're like, all right, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna do the best you can, because what other choice do you have?
I was one of those memes like, what are you doing, Adam? My best. I'm doing my best. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But speaking of self-control and having very little of it, Adam, there is one thing I don't have very much self-control in. It comes to new Turtles.
Rock on.
You'll never see him coming. Donatello is the invisible man. Watch behind you. Madman or genius, shoot aside. Catch him if you can. Look out, his secret's under wraps. Once the bandages are peeled, history will be revealed. This is from one of my absolute favorite lines that I didn't anticipate liking as much as I did. And this is the Universal Monsters Turtle line. Holy Jesus, this line is fantastic. So I'm gonna open this box together.
You're gonna pass though on the April, aren't you?
It's not top priority, but it's gonna end up being, because I kind of made the decision because I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna get Casey, but I saw some pictures of Casey that people have been posting, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to get Casey, which means I have to get April. I already have Splinter, so but typical, which has become pretty standard with these NECA figures, just the amount of accessories is dumped without spilling stuff everywhere. So, when you have, people are not happy with like Hasbro, which I don't collect Hasbro that much because I'm just that for me the quality's just simply not there. Um, and when it comes to like accessories, but
They're messed up because you buy a really, really, really shit action figure, and on the same peg, a really, really awesome action figure.
yeah, Hasbro's weird, but
Like these Mandalorian figures I got are fucking awesome. But
well, that's the thing. Like the Mandalorian, like the only one I've bought of the Star of any recent Star Wars, I bought a Paz Vizsla, and it turned out to be the carbonized one. Which, as it turns out, they splash an extra coat of sparkly paint on it, and they charge $10 more for it. Go bleep yourself, Hasbro. But it is when it comes to things that have mask and all that. Fine, no issue with quality. It looks great. When you actually see their face, like characters where the sculpts, I can't do it. They're the quality's simply not there for me. But getting back to this Invisible Man Donnie figure, so here you go. So you got a couple different hats. You've got a hat. You got the TGRI book, in case you get the reference, and then you've got a microscope, a beaker. Is that beaker? Whatever, I forget what those are. Come with it, and then Adam, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 extra sets of hands and 2 clear feet. So that's what you can't see them because they're clear, but and so is Donnie. But yeah, the accessories, NECA is just absolutely killing this turtle line. And then I love the packaging because you get a little laboratory background to use. So,
God, I love their backgrounds.
Yeah, fantastic because you can keep it in the box or you can actually use it to help display. So good on you, NECA. Like they actually think of things. But yeah, this one, oh wait.
I'm waiting.
The absolute best part of this figure. Wait.
I'm going to wait.
Wait.
All of us. You and you and you. Do you understand? Do you understand? We've all got away.
I dropped him.
He dropped it. And now Tiny Tim has to pick it up.
My favorite part of this figure. The transparent shell that's got pizza.
That's cool.
Cool.
That's very cool.
It's so cool. Like this is one of my favorite lines of all time because of the details. You have Leo where you actually have the shell that opens and you got things you actually put inside and just the creativity on this line. NECA has been absolutely killing it. Not trying to knock on Super 7 or Playmates or whoever else does turtle stuff, but right now for me, NECA's top of the heap. So
yeah, I have to agree.
So I was kind of upset. I did pre-order this through a fellow YouTuber, and he did right by me, but came out is a little bit slower. I saw a lot of people were getting their figures before me, but still happy, still love it. So can't wait to get him. I mean, even just the goggles.
It's just
Michael
awesome.
Bay.
I've just recently watched that movie too, the original Invisible Man.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
Well, that's like if you watch, Kevin Bacon Hollow. Like, yeah, he's Prince.
Love it.
Nice fedora. Put on a little angle because he's a gangster.
That's right. Well, it's a fantastic pickup, Nick.
Yeah,
Fantastic pickup.
I was, I was waiting for that. I was like, Yee! So very happy.
I have a little something to show off. Two little somethings to show off from last week.
Do it. With
All
your
right.
testicles, I'd be very upset. Like, who gives you a microscope as a toy? A microscope.
Yeah, I love that.
And not to mention, like, it's detailed as hell. Like, it's
1/12 scale.
a microscope.
I went crazy trying to find a microscope for my Batcave display.
Right?
I found one, but not quite that nice. Well, it is that nice, but it's not as big, so it's not quite to scale.
Maybe pour a little liquid in there, make it blue or green. Maybe go a little crazy. Maybe purple.
Go nuts.
And then the classic photo stat. What you got, my friend?
Well, I was going to collect the line, but I figured he's a perfect one to start because I wouldn't put him with it. I would put him with a different figure and just kind of came along. So the Titans line, I picked up Arsenal. And he is definitely with my Red Hood action figure because these two are, like they're best friends. And yeah, you can see he's got even his tattoos. It says Poison there. He's got the almost grunge tattoo in a way.
Oh, yeah.
The hat. He is phenomenal.
How do you
And
feel?
he was
Maybe it's coming across. How is that paint like? Almost is that orange or is that just like a bright red?
That's just a bright red coming across orange with the lighting. But yeah, it's right. It's definitely red when you look at it.
Okay. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's on the list because I want to customize the snot out of that one.
Yeah. So, been waiting for this for a long time. When I finally got the Mr. Freeze that I wanted, McFarlane got the license. And then I was like, now my Mr. Freeze is not in scale. The rest of my shit, and he has to be packed away. Well, now I have a Mr. Freeze again.
They released, was it a platinum version? And I didn't understand the color scheme. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it was the color scheme of the original toy from the 80s. Like it was like purpley or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was all like flesh toned and
yeah.
It's
just the color.
I'm like, that's not right.
It was the color scheme of one of the original toys.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad I didn't get that one.
Yeah, yeah.
I
People start
I
saying
did
that.
kind
I'm like, yeah, I want that. I'm like, I don't want that at all. I want the blue. I want the blue one.
Right. Nope, this one looks, yeah. I'm pretty stoked. And my brother-in-law and I, we split on a case of, people say we split on a case of beer. We split on that. No, we split on a case of NECA flight stands.
Oh, nice.
So I got 6 and he got 6. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to Google that because I mean, I see the NECA stands, but in the store. I bought some, and I don't know. They're just not super duper.
Yeah, but they're better than McFarlane flight stands, man. In my opinion.
Okay, because I've got some of these, which I like. And I'll show And in case you're wondering, all right, so I have some of these, which are good for certain things, especially for stiffer figures or heavier figures.
Yeah, no, that's
I do have
yeah.
these because I actually like these because, like, so like right here, like I would just chop that off, so you don't have that sticking up behind your figure, right? So they can just
Yeah.
kind of pose. And I do have some of these.
Those are the ones that I have.
Okay, well, yeah, these ones aren't exactly, but they're similar. But for a heavier figure, they're just not fantastic.
That was it right there.
This one right here,
Yeah.
like these. Okay, yeah, um,
I had to weigh one side of them down because I wanted Superman closer to the one of the edges. But if you flip it the right way, I mean, it balances out okay.
that's not the one. But yeah, some of the ones I have, they work, but they're not fantastic. Like this is the one right here. So it does what you need to, but if it's a heavier figure, it's just not going to work.
I had one of those a while back. I remember that one.
Yeah, because it's just it's well, if it's a heavy figure, it's just not going to do the job. But yeah, fantastic. It was just, it felt so nice to open that toy. I was like, that felt nice. That's good.
Oh, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. So what? So you have what monster turtle do you have left to get? Are they all out now?
All the brothers are out. So there's Leo is Quasimodo, Mikey is the Mummy, Raph is Frankenstein, Johnny's Invisible Man, Splinter is I keep wanting to say Van Morrison, but that's not right.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, not Van
Van
Morrison.
Moore. Brown-eyed girl.
April is
Bride of Frankenstein.
Is Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein. Casey is Phantom, and I think they're clearly saving Splinter as Dracula.
Well, then who is
But
Van Helsing?
Splinter.
So who's saving for Dracula?
Sorry, Shredder. Did I say Shredder?
You said Splinter.
I would say probably, yeah. Shredder is probably being saved as Dracula or just the vampire. So we'll see. But speaking of April stuff, we are going to the land of Instagram real quick. Because since this is April, they have had
Oh.
the April's April take. So it looks like
I saw the Ninja Turtles in concert when I was a kid.
That's
amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my aunt took me to see him.
So just from this quick preview, so it looks like this is actually a scene from the new, not last, is it Last Ronin? Yeah, Last Ronin comics, the Lost Years. And this looks like a quick mock-up. So this is actually April from the older April from the Last Ronin comics. So it looks like we have an April Last Ronin figure coming, which is fantastic. Because I think they're going to go pretty hard into that line.
Oh, dude. Was that Grandpa?
Yeah. Yeah, these aren't out yet, but I think.
Oh, those are the Rob Zombie ones. They're out.
Yes.
I saw them at Target.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much art. Okay.
If I had money to piss away, I would buy those. But
yeah. Well, dude, if I had money to piss away, I would buy every single one of these Predator figures. These Predator figures. I am. See,
Patrick and Jason are not far from it.
I tried not to get into Turtles because I knew what would happen. If I get into Predators, I had a Predator in my hand a couple times. I was like, should I? No, because I know it's gonna go poorly. But see, like this thing. Look at that thing. Look at that. Back in the Predator line, but
I have that one. It's out in the hallway.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So part of also the April takeover. So this is sketch. So I don't know. It looks like they're gonna do a Mirage version of April. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming. If you are a turtle fan, there's more stuff coming. The shot's fantastic. Some of the things people do with the photography, absolutely amazing.
I want that Bride of Frankenstein, but I want her in color.
Yeah, the standard Universal Monsters line. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I was so happy to get my Dracula brother. God, I got the box to that one right here. Just right there. Looking at gee whiz.
Now I'm talking about it. So we do have a friend, our friend Victor from 1/6 scale photography. He's done some pretty good shots lately.
That's amazing.
He doesn't do, but he does a lot of good work. Voldemort. Some rocket stuff from Guardians, The Mask. I know he collects a lot of hot movies, but yeah, he does a lot of great work. So keep it up, Victor. You're doing a great job, man. So all right.
Amen.
All right, my friend.
I think we're almost getting to that part. Yeah, I'm sorry we missed your Renfield review.
Oh, it's fine. It was good. It was fun. Yay.
Did you enjoy it? I mean, was it? It was a good comedy.
It was fun. You know, a few things here and there. Aquafina, I don't get the whole Aquafina thing because she kind of plays the main female lead, and I think she's one of those in small doses fine, but as a major lead, it's like a bit much at times for me. But Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, good job. Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I watched Willy's Wonderland. That's the Nicolas Cage doesn't have one line in the whole movie, but he's locked into a place like Chuck E. Cheese, and all the demon animatronics come to kill him. Okay. And then he's supposed to be a sacrifice. But he kills all the demons. Is
that on Shudder or something?
It's on one of the streaming services. But yeah, take a look at the trailer. Okay. You will definitely not regret it.
Alrighty.
Imagine if Chuck E. Cheese was trying to murder you.
Nice.
Now imagine a movie.
I've had several of those things.
Now imagine a movie where they try to murder Nicolas Cage. He's a badass, and he has
Nicolas Cage,
and he has no lines in the whole movie. Doesn't say a word.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Great show tonight, my friend. Have a good night.
All right. Well, I have to stop the stream. So.
And I love this kitty. What's the kitty's name? Cypress?
This is Cypress. Or as my mother-in-law says, Calypso, because I can't remember Cypress sometimes. But all right, so if you want to check us out.
That's adorable.
Facebook or Instagram.
I love that.
Go check us out over there. And we are on all the major podcast platforms. Plus, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. It helps us a lot. So other than that, any final words for the people, Adam?
And my love is the plaster, and yeah, she's the collector, and she calls me by the name of Master. Have a good one, Planet Houston.
Good night, America.